fire, we don't have a right of entry.
The fire mitigation to that issue is, as long as all that stuff is there and it's in there, I'm sure they're right of way. It can jump so easily. If it does come from my house, it's just going to jump the road. If you can just bring that back a little bit. But I just know I'll go sign it if I can tell you where to start.
Bubba said something very important and you didn't hear him say, is he cannot work on it if he doesn't have
right of entry. Well, and that's what I think we weren't willing to give right of entry the way that the contract was written. Because it was say, we give carte blanche to whomever, and they're road builders. I mean, the guys on the tractor, aren't they kind of road builders? They're not wildlife management people.
No, they're tractor operators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're just going in and they're climbing up and they're doing their job as best they know how.
That's correct.
As best they know how. And, you know, it's kind of like, okay, well, when do we get to have a dialogue about what kind of concessions could happen and, you know, what would meet within the agreement of the contractual, you know, the intention of it.
Let me go through this once more.
Okay.
Really, I've got to run.
Okay.
Be so abrupt.
Join the cats.
Our mission is to get fire-resistant landscape around as many houses as we can, and to create a healthy forest. And we know how to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Bubba knows how to do that. The operators know how to do that. We've got a biologist that's with us every day. Every day. A hired biologist working for Texas State University. It's here right now. Those are the things that we need to do. And we've got a time constraint because the end of June, we're moving out of Tahitian Village. We're going up north of Lake Bastrop and we're done. So if people want us to go on their property and do that, we want very much to do so. If there's any hesitation that you or your neighbors or your friends or anyone else, if there's any hesitation at all, then let's just don't do it.
Right.
Okay, I'm all right with that.
Right.
Okay, the fire departments are okay with that.
Yeah.
So
So
they're going to get a map of where the work has been done. They're going to be able to pre-plan where they can get in and save a house. They'll know that ahead of time.
right.
Okay, and your issue here, if visibility, and that was my.
Oh, I was going to say that's just somebody's.
If it's important that some crook down there doesn't see your house, if that's more important than the fire safety of your house,
It is.
that's your choice.
Yep. Because I can take care of the fire safety part. I can't take care of the crook part.
Okay, I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
Yep.
And
I've just got
otherwise,
such a mess.
the
You'd
flood
have to look
thing
at it.
you mentioned a while ago, and it's kind of, for me, it's a good deal, bad deal. Is that we've had record rainfall, more rainfall we've had in any year in spring since 6 years. Happens to do it after we get this, and people are seeing where water's been running. It's been running there all the time, just doing it in a different way.
And it's more visible.
But I can tell you now, I'd rather have the criticism for causing the erosion than I would not having the rainfall. So I'll take the rain.
yeah, I'm not complaining. Although I'm about
Yeah, we're not comparing those two. Those two aren't up for grabs.
I'm about complaining.
But so
Our job is to do the best we can in as many places as we can, as quickly as we can, and then move on to another area.
okay, so I heard two different things, and let me just get clarity so that I'm not sideways with anything. I heard that if there's a way that you could do it where it would be amenable to you guys and meet all the benefits and necessities of the FEMA program, and it still was not completely clear cutting from street all the way, that you could do that. But then I also heard if there's any hesitation, just don't sign up. You don't have time. I heard two different stories.
well,
You can do it. The work, if you choose to do it, can be done by you. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And Bubba is more than willing, both of us, to
Bubba's been
compromise
lovely.
where it's reasonable to do so.
Okay.
Okay, but we've got to get in and get out and get to somebody else.
Right.
And to be able to piecemeal and do a little here and I'll do a little there,
Right.
you got to remember it's part of a bigger landscape.
Sure.
Okay, it's not just about your property. It's about your neighbor's property.
Well, we understand that. Believe me, I'm speaking today on behalf of many neighbors,
Yeah.
dozens of neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've had, throughout this subdivision, we've got neighborhoods that have been completely satisfied with the way it looks. We've had other neighborhoods where people said, well, hell, I don't want to see my neighbor's house. I moved down here.
For privacy,
The
yeah.
house is only 100 yards over here.
Yeah.
It's been there all the time. It's just now they can see it, and they don't like that.
See it and hear it, and the dogs are barking.
Is that a
And
trade-off
yeah.
for fire protection? That has to be that landowner's responsibility to answer. That's not my place to answer that.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't intend to. But again, the fire departments, they're going to understand which areas out here are more defendable and where they can safely work, and they're going to understand the places they cannot.
Right.
Okay?
And see, I'm fortunate because my house is right on Akalola, so they have good access to the house.
Yeah.
All of the forest type property is quite a ways behind the house. I've cleared a pretty darn good area.
Yeah,
You're in
you've got a
pretty
good.
shape.
Yeah, you're in good shape. I'm in good shape.
pretty good shape.
I've got a fire hydrant right at the front of my property.
About 75% of your property that'll carry fire.
Yeah.
If it runs through, it's going to let fire go somewhere else.
Yeah.
All we're trying to do is to stop. If the fire's running through here, it gets to some place where we cut the
Slows it
fuel
down.
out. It'll stop long enough for the fire department to put it out, and it doesn't go all the way through. That's what we're trying to get out of this.
You know, Mike, let me ask something, and this is maybe self-evident, but it's not self-evident to me. Why wouldn't the grant have wanted to clear all those half-dead trees off the floor of the forest and get all
We're
that?
done.
Isn't that
We're
fuel?
doing that where we can, where it's
But
ready.
I heard it was nothing east of Tahitian Drive.
Oh, and yeah, we're only allowed to work in the non-burned area.
Okay, okay,
In the burn zone, it's not part of our stuff.
okay, okay.
Here's the deal. I got $4 million, $3 million from the federal government and $1 million from the state government, and it's the golden rule. You heard that? He who has the gold makes the rule. And so the federal government says that you can do this and you can't do that, and I got to play that game.
Yeah.
All right? Because we agree, we'll take your money, but we'll do it.
We'll follow
in
your
accordance with-
Yeah, there are certain rules that we need to abide by.
Trade-off.
Well, that's the whole thing is I wanted to figure out how we could all work together because there is this like
Yeah,
big
well, that's
unrest
the thing.
uprising
You know, if you
and
don't
I
have
happen to be
time,
very, very active on
you could
social
have
media. So
creatively
there's a
designed
lot
a
of people that
really
come to me and I
nice
said, look, these guys
community
can be
type
reasonable.
program.
They've
You
been
could
lovely
use
with me.
Kids trying to get
You know,
through
I had to
college
kind of
and
go out there and
do a bunch of this.
wave
I
my
have- I've
arms
been
and
in
jump
this
up and
business
down. And Bubba was
33
lovely.
years.
He was kind.
And for
He
30
listened to
years, I've
me,
tried to get
you know.
neighborhoods to-
It's not like
I'm
these
talking
guys
about
are the
paying
evil
kids
enemy,
to
and
do
that's
stuff. I'm
really
talking
what's
about-
happening.
Well,
Is it's becoming
my
us
cousins
against
got
them
through
kind of
school
thing, and I don't
working
like
in
that.
Yellowstone Park,
It doesn't feel
clearing
good.
all of the trails, and that was just a big
So I'm trying to have a
summer job.
voice
That's what
where I can
everybody
say,
did.
hey guys,
And
they will
then
do
the-
this, they won't do
in
that,
all
but
of
I'm
their
trying to
wisdom,
figure out
the
what they
feds
will and won't
decided,
do.
oh, we can't clear any more of the forest floor. Well, you get a fire now in Yellowstone, it burns half the park down. And so I understand it makes a lot of sense to get the fuel off the floor. I understand that. I just
From jumping canopy.
Yeah, I just think that if you'd have been given the opportunity to come up with more time and more creativity and more input, you probably could have made the whole world happier.
Well, you know, we'd all like to think that we could do it our way. It's better than
Sure,
anybody
well, it
else.
would have been, I know.
But the fact of it is that none of us are as smart as all of us. and that's the hand that we're playing. Okay, I've got a set of rules. I've got
No,
the
I
North
understand.
American Migratory Bird Treaty.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I've got the Endangered Species Act, the Houston Toad.
Are there
Everything we
any
do.
in this area still? I wasn't sure whether there
Toads?
were any, where
Toads.
you are in this area.
I don't
There
know
aren't
in-
any
in
toads
this
on this
neighborhood. I
side.
don't know where John found the last toad. Is it anywhere near here?
I know they found some over there on the South Shores.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
see, yeah,
See,
that's
across
way,
20
yeah,
across on
21.
21, I
They're
think
scattered
they're all.
around.
Yeah,
Now after the fire,
Yeah.
it confounded it.
yeah. the
Yeah.
toads.
See, that's the problem. The whole ecosystem went haywire.
It's changed
Not only
anyway.
in the burn scar, but adjacent to the burn scar. Okay, what we're going to have in the burn scar at some point, we're going to have a healthy forest bank.
You know, it's just like in Yellowstone.
What we're doing over
20
here with
years later.
mechanical equipment is we're trying to create a healthy forest without having a fire. Both of them work, and they both have different time zones.
Right.
And that's all we're trying to do.
Right.
Go back up to the north, back around that pine forest area where we started and where nobody lives now.
Mhm.
If you look through there, you're going to see that this is the way that forest and that ecosystem is supposed to look.
Sure. Well, we both come from Wyoming, and I grew up in Yellowstone Park, so I'm kind of familiar with
Yeah.
forests and forest fires and what they do and the importance of them.
Yeah.
And when you stop a forest from burning naturally every 6 to 8 decades, you know, you've got you got a lot of fuel.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I understand. I truly do.
So, truthfully, ideal situation is for me to go through the entire Tahitian village with this mechanical equipment, and then to have a wildfire in it about every 3 years. So it doesn't become a...
Then you'd get shot for not having completely
Well, then-
mitigated
then-
it.
I mean,
This
then
is
you
a
have a
no-win deal.
You have a safe place to live, and you have a great and
But it's
healthy
worth the effort.
ecosystem.
I think it is. It's worth the effort.
Well, yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'm just being facetious. You can't ever have anything that pleases everybody. You're never going to.
No, we know that.
So,
It's just-
Jan, the takeaway is, yeah, they'll work with you on a plan with limitations.
What are the limitations, though? See, that's
Well,
the
the fact is,
Freaky
right
Friday.
here, if you buy that piece of property, you don't want us to clear that Yopon, we're gonna work somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't mind if the Yopon, like I was telling Bubba, the stuff at the top I didn't mind, but down by the street where they had visibility,
Jan,
that
I
would
tell you,
be horrible.
Under extreme wildfire circumstance and the right wind conditions, there's enough fuel right there
Right.
to radiate heat to ignite your house.
I know.
That is a given.
Right. That's why I didn't mind if the
So-
stuff up top. That's why we've cleared
I'm talking about
this.
as it sits right now.
Right, as it sits right now.
If none of that other fuel goes away,
Right.
then your house will be ignited
Exactly.
under just radiant heat.
Well, it is
So,
going to be mitigated, but I didn't want down by the road to be
and you could leave
wiped
some
out.
visual area there.
Yeah.
Leave some.
Well, we're going to do that. We just didn't see that you guys were going to do that because every lot that I've seen that you guys have cleared has been all the way straight through, and all it is a stand of tall trees now.
Yep.
You know, a canopy with mulch.
But as
You know?
we stand now, them people still own that property.
Yeah.
And they want it cleared.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to them yesterday, and they're selling to me.
But
Well,
all
see,
the
that
information
was
I got still says they own it and they want it cleared. So until-
we're holding off on it. I told you that, you know,
Yeah.
we won't do anything on there till you buy it. And you buy it, then our right of entry goes away.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay.
So we'll be monitoring. Like Bubba said, that guy said he wants us to come and work on it.
And you know, when we talked to him, he said we didn't know what it meant. We just thought that was what had to happen. So it's not like he wanted it done. It's just he thought this was what was supposed to happen. He's a sweet guy. He's not that intelligent. He's very lovely. But he just said, you know, I didn't know. I just, you know, figured that's what we had to do. And, you know, shoot, they had a fire. He hasn't been up here in years, you know, so he didn't know.
Do you guys know how big a problem that is for us?
I can imagine. There are so many people that are not local.
Oh, yeah. Well,
At least half of the area out here is
Yeah.
absentee landowners.
Right.
it's too bad you couldn't do some kind of a condemnation act
We're
and
not gonna do
take,
that.
you know, take that property. I know a family in Austin that signed up. They got a couple lots over by Waihane, and they signed up. I said, when was the last time you were out here?